The Mayor's Office with Sean Casey, Chinch and Casey Productions. Big Ten Network's Link Up with Kenny Bell on Big Ten Network. Seabla NFL, NBC Universal Telemundo. And the winner is, I wish I had envelopes. I need like a dramatic moment here. The Mayor's Office.
Where we go up? I don't know. Where we go up?
Judges describe this Webisode series as great energy with great visuals.
Boom, Chinch. That's a big boom right there, bro.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
Winner. Best Webisode Series in sports.
Best. I can't believe, and we were up against some heavy hitters, dude. Like, you know, all the people that were there, Fox and NBC and CBS and ESPN, MLB, NFL, NHL, NASCAR. Seriously.
Yes.
And then we put in that bootleg name, Chinch and Case Productions.
Yeah, we didn't even have a, you're supposed to put, here's the show, and then usually it's like ESPN Deportes, CBS Sports, and we were just Chinch and Casey Productions because I didn't know what to write down there. Also, by the way, shout out, we did lose the best new sports show, but we couldn't have lost it to a better group of people because our table, who was at our table? The UFC
guys were there. Yeah, awesome dudes, and we were fired up for them too, man. We share the awards going around. It was really cool.
It was really
I couldn't believe it, dude. You know, we were the first award up, and there was probably like 25 awards or something. So I thought they were going to get it moving. So my reaction to that video was. Do we go talk? I have no idea. I never won an award like this. I'm used to like, you know, I don't even know what's going on here. You know?
Yeah.
So how about I turn, I love that video because I turn around to you. I'm like, Chinch, do we talk? And you're like, I don't know. You stand up, I stand up. I start walking and you sit down. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Why is Chinch sitting down?
No, and then I ran up. Oh my God. It was so fun. You know,
you got to come up with me. Yeah.
It was so cool. I
didn't even know what to, I didn't even know what to say. And then I forgot to thank Sarah and Jess, who have been a huge part of putting this program together. Thank God you were there to be like, save the day. Like, hey, thanks, Sarah and Jess.
That was the one thing. I basically had that written on my underwear in the morning. Like, don't forget to thank Jess and Sarah. And the funny thing is, first of all, Sean doesn't realize how big of, you were probably the biggest celebrity there, I would say. People loved you. And of course, you know, we're standing there with Jess and Sarah, and everybody's coming up and talking to Sean, and Sarah goes, "This happens everywhere." And I go, "Well, hold on, I got this." Because I won't even say what I did because I've had to play bad cop for years.
Yeah, you became my agent. You're like, "All right, Sean, we have the limo's outside." Meanwhile, it's like, the limo? Did we walk here?
And by the way, great dinner the night before. Shout out to
great dinner, Quality Inn. My man Michael Garvey,
Quality Italian
out there in the Quality Italian.
Whew, beautiful.
Oh,
first of all, beautiful place.
Was that good, bro?
Oh my God, my steak is still right here, and I'm leaving it there.
Dude,
it tastes so good.
Crushed a 2-person ribeye, Sarah and I. And then we also crushed like a
prosciutto platter, everything.
Yeah, and then
oysters.
I got the bill. I was like, damn. I was like, we better win tomorrow. This bill's heavy.
Which, by the way,
I'm not hitting doubles in the gaps anymore. I'm doing the mayor's office where I can't pay a jack squat.
Yeah, and by the way, another reason why he's a mayor, he won't say this, but I will. Oh, I got to run to the bathroom, Sean says, before the check comes, which normally most people, you know, are running to the bathroom to hide from the check. But then he comes back and sits down. And I go to hand him my card. He goes, "Nah, I already paid for it. You scumbag." But I appreciate it. So thank you.
You get the next one, Chinch. I appreciate it. Dude, that reminds.
Yeah, mine will be a Taco Bell though, not.
Taco Bell, yeah. Give me 6 tacos, churros, Doritos, whatever those things are. The cinnamon sticks at the end, delicious. Yes. Dude, really quick, that jarred my memory on a story. My last year with the Red Sox, 2008. Yeah, me, Alex Cora, and Manny Ramirez go to dinner like. You know, right on the wharf there, you're beautiful, overlooking the water, everything. We have this big meal. We get the freaking this seafood tower. You know, out comes the guy. He's got fish heads. He's like, "What do you guys want?" We're like, "Oh, we'll take that. Give me the tilapia. Give me the halibut. You know, give me the swordfish." You know, Alex Cora's like, "Give us some sushi." I mean, we run the gamut, dude. And we're thinking, me and Alex are kind of thinking, we're with Manny Ramirez, bro. He's making $18.5 million. Alex and I we're like the bench players at this point in our careers, you know. So we're at the end, we're full. We've had a great time, and like 2 minutes earlier, Manny's like, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick, guys. All right, bro, we'll see you in a little bit. Manny, 20 minutes later, I look at Alex, I go, "Hey, where's Manny?"
No, he
don't think he's coming back. Yeah,
no
he did. Got in the cab and left.
Come on,
stuck me and Cora with the bill. He's making 18.5 mil. What was he making in 2008?
I'm looking it up right now. Is this I think I've heard this
is a true
before that
story.
he's not.
Oh man, he's one of the cheapest humans alive. That's why he's still rich.
What year was this? What year was this?
2008.
Okay, let's see what Manny Ramirez was making in 2008. Is $18,929,923 good? And by the way, all you guys, all you rich bastards always say, "Oh, those numbers are always skewed. Like you made more money than they put in Baseball Reference." And at that point, so the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the last 6 years before that dinner, he made 20 million, 22.5, 22. 18 and change, 17 and change, and that year he was making $18,929,923 and or whatever. You're telling me he skipped out on a bill?
Dude, it was like $1,000 bill. It was a ridiculous amount of food and probably drinks, and he skipped out on it. And I'm like, "Hey, Manny, what's going on?" Next day, he's like, "Mi hermano, my bad. I went to the bathroom." Next thing I know, I was in a cab by myself on the way to the hotel. I was like, "What the hell's going on here, Manny?"
You know, that's funny. One of you guys, one of the former players, told me the story. I'm not going to say who the player was, and I'm not going to say who the pitcher was, but they were on the same team, and he tells a story about this pitcher going, "Hey, we're all going to like whatever this concert in Arizona or whatever. You're getting on my plane, my private plane. We're all gonna go. We're gonna party. We're gonna go, and then I'll fly you guys back. Everything cool? Yeah, this is great." So the position player who told me the story said they land, and do you know the story? The pitcher turns around to everybody and goes, "All right, boys, that's 15 G's each for gas." And everybody's like, what?
Dude,
and this particular player at the time was not making the Manny Ramirez money when somebody
was that player possibly Kevin Millar?
I didn't want to be the one to say it. Should we say who the pitcher was?
No, don't say who the pitcher was. But we can say Millar was one of the guys going, "I'm a fake rich guy, and I don't think I have that kind of cash. So listen, good luck. We'll see you when I see you."
Oh my God,
I'm
so
gonna pull
good.
a Manny Ramirez. Is there a cab outside on the runway?
Yes.
I'm out of here.
So good. Well, anyway, so yeah, we got good food. Sean did pay for it. I didn't run away. I did try to give my card. So we're
No, you did.
We're not in one of the.
Chinch. You're a good man, bro.
You're a good man.
I'm definitely richer than you. What?
That's a fact. So the other thing too is, again, so psyched to have won that award. So psyched for you fans out there who have been following us, and we really appreciate it. And we're just gonna keep rolling with it, right?
Yeah, man, this is great. Chinch and I keep saying, we're not making any cash in this. We don't care. We want to deliver great content for you guys out there, deliver stories. That was the whole reason we did it, was to tell stories, tell baseball stories. We love baseball. Yeah. We love people. We love the mental side of game and life of the game and the mental side of life. And I don't know, Chinch, we're just doing it. I always say, like, hey, process. Follow the process. Process, not results. Process, not, that's how I lived my career and lived my life. So let's just keep doing what we love. And the results will be there.
I love it.
And they're showing up because you guys are listening, and you guys are letting it be known that we're doing all right.
Exactly. And we're right there, and we don't care. We're having fun with this. But we're like George Clooney when he was like on The Facts of Life, and it's like, oh, that guy's pretty good. He might be big, and then bam, we're just waiting for that ER money to come in, and that's.
Oh my God. I like that George Clooney reference. That's freaking money.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk a little baseball, and we got to kick things off with Mr. Mayor, Mr. Red, and talk about the state of your franchise, bud.
Yeah, man, they're grinding right now. I think it was funny because last year, even a couple years ago, when they had that big rotation, Sonny Gray, Castillo, Bauer, all of a sudden. Looks a little different now. Sonny Gray's gone. Castellanos is gone, who was a big bat in that lineup. Tucker Barnhart's traded. So Nick Kroll, who's a good buddy of mine, who was our video. Nick Kroll was our video guy when I was with Cincinnati. I was like, "Hey Nick, can you give me a couple side angles? Hey, give me a bunch of lefties. Show me what this guy's throwing first pitch." Great dude. And can only imagine. Obviously in that mid market, you got to do what you got to do. So I think they're really into rebuilding, and trying to build it back up. But that lineup is literally, if you look up and down the lineup, guys are hitting like 130 right now.
Yeah,
13 games in the year. I didn't look at my batting average till I was 100 at bats in. So they're not concerned. They'll probably get hot at some point. But when you look at guys like Hunter Green though, and some of these young prospects, Jonathan India, Senzel, they got other guys coming. and a lot of the guys they got back in the trades were some pretty good players. So listen, they're trying to do it right.
Yeah.
And one thing about the Cincinnati fan base wants a winner at the end of the day. They want it, because I think these last couple of years they started getting some bats and some guys, and the resurgence of Votto coming back and Moustakas, but he's been injured a little bit. But Castellanos was a superstar, and they got Jonathan India, Rookie of the Year. Oh boy, here we come! Then bam.
Right. I think if they didn't have the success and if they didn't have that kind of spark in their eyes, fans wouldn't be so upset. But then they pulled it apart, and dude, they've scored 37 runs so far this year. They've given up 74. I mean, you're not going to win any games.
Yeah. That's not good. You can't have track meets every night. You can't outscore everybody.
I know, tough, but I feel like I'm kind of like an honorary Reds fan, because the only people that follow me on Twitter and all social media are people that follow you because of this show. So I always see their pain when they're fired up on the internet,
dude. And one thing too, Chinch, from a player's point of view, I know the fans get frustrated. The players are frustrated too. I can remember one day I was putting my son Andrew. He was it's 2002 or 2003. He just pooped his diaper. He's nappy time. I'm putting him down for a nap, and the window overlooked the house was being constructed next door. And a couple of these construction workers look up, and we kind of caught eyes, and the window was open. They're like, "Hey, Casey." I'm like, "Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going down there?" Like, "Yeah." Like, "What's wrong with you guys?" And I'm, "Come on, let's go." And I'm like, "Yeah, I agree." I feel it. Yeah. It's frustrating to go to the yard when you're playing for those fans out there and you want to do the best you can, and you guys stink. It's just a frustrating time. So, as frustrated as the fans are, the guys in the field are frustrated, and they're trying their best to win ball games. They're obviously scuffling right now. Just hitting's contagious. It's just the way it goes. There's too good of hitters in that lineup to not get hot at some point. Yeah.
Do you think when you're playing and your team starts off that bad, do you start getting the anxiety going, "Oh my God, I can't do this the whole year. We got to get better, or I got to get out of here"? Or how does that work?
That starts when you get eliminated from the playoff race in July. You're like, "Oh my God, we're eliminated already. There's 2.5 months to go." You know what I mean? But I think it's such a long season, Chance, that you just got to keep grinding. You got to put your head underwater and say, don't even need to look at the record. We got to win tonight. We got to win the next pitch. And hopefully at the end of 9 innings, we're winning. We can get something rolling.
Yeah, that's true. Next, though, let's go positive here. Flip the script. And I should pat ourselves on the back a little bit, because we talked about the New York Mets, not the New York Yankees, last week. And we talked Lindor, we talked Carrasco, and man, that team, they're starting to set the pace.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I think so. Set the pace. Listen, I said this before. I'll say it again. I think the biggest addition to that, you got Scherzer, you got all these guys, Marte, blah, blah, blah. Lindor's back. The biggest addition is Buck Showalter. You bring a veteran guy into that clubhouse, bro. It's different than having a young manager. I don't care what anyone says. Hey, this guy's a good up-and-coming manager. Listen, that's not necessarily true. When you get a veteran guy like Buck Showalter come in to the veteran players like a Lindor, the big money guys, the Scherzers, the DeGroms, instant respect, instant. Hey, we'll do anything. This Jim Leland coming in 2006 to the Tigers. They stunk for 15 years. They weren't good, and then Leland came in. Leland came in, had a couple young guys, couple veteran guys, but his tone that was set was let's go. It's time to win. I expect this out of you. We expect you to play hard every night. We expect you to bring the noise. And that's just, when I watch the Mets play, I go, they're playing like Buck Showalter's in that dugout. Turns out he is. That's one of the biggest signs by Stevie Cohen, I think, right now.
Right. First of all, great man. I got a great story, because this is in the local papers. You might not have heard it. So Keith Hernandez has, one of the greatest of all time, especially you as a first baseman, ever played the game.
Should be in Cooperstown.
There you go. Hernandez. So do you know, over the course of the past however many years, he's been doing in Mets games for SMY for years and years, he was never allowed on the field by previous ownership or things like that. I don't know if you knew that. So he wasn't going and talking to the players before the games, because they didn't want, because he's very honest. So if they're playing like crap, he'd go, "You're playing like crap." So
one of the best players ever.
Yes, thank you. So exactly. So a few weeks ago, Buck was driving a golf cart, I think, at the spring training facility, and he sees Keith, and he goes, "Hey, Keith, get in." And Keith's like, "What?" Keith told this story, I think, on the air too. And he's like, "Get in the car." The golf cart, they drive, goes onto the field, and Keith was like, "They haven't let me on in this area for years and years." And Buck Showalter was basically like, "F that, you're Keith Hernandez. This is the organization. We want this organization to play like you did because that guy played his ass off for every team he ever played, every at-bat, every defensive play. So that's what you're getting out of Buck, and it's translating, man. It's translating.
Hey, Keith Hernandez, those guys are part of the team, whether you like it or
Ron
not.
too. You don't want to hear Ron Darling's advice on how to pitch if you're a pitcher in that organization?
Of course, I want to hear Ron Darling's advice. Exactly. And if I'm a first baseman, I'm Pete Alonso or Don Smith. Dude, you kidding me? Keith Hernandez played basically shortstop at first base. Go watch his film. I mean, dude, you want to try and bunt first and second. Keith Hernandez, you're out at third, maybe double play to first, and turning two, diving plays, dude. He was the leader of those Mets teams. I love it, man. Buck Showalter, good Buck, love you, buddy. Good for you, for getting Hernandez involved and just bringing a good vibe. Buck's a positive guy, but he's hard nosed. It's Jim Leland all over again. I know I go back to that, but Terry Francona, these guys feel like your teammates, feel like your friends, but they'll jump you in a heartbeat. Right. They'll let you know, listen, there's a hierarchy here.
And you respect them enough. You respect them enough to accept their criticism of you, right? Guys like that. Of course. They own the room.
Oh my God. I told you one time when I missed a hit and run, Sunday Night Baseball was like 3 a.m, freaking ESPN game. They had to get it in. I look down at third. They bring in this guy, Boone Logan, throwing like 98. He paints the first one outside. I'm like, damn. And remember, don't forget, I'm 30. I'm 33 years old. This is my 10th year in the big leagues. Yeah. Gene Lamont gives me the hit and run sign. I'm like, that can't be right. Polanco's on first. It's like, Chinch, it's 3 a.m. I'm not kidding. It's legit. It's extra innings. It's a freaking nightmare. So Gene Lamont gives me a hit and run. I was like, I must have missed that run because I just need to try and get a pitch. I'll hit the hole. We'll have first and third. Boom, here we go. We got action. So I take the next pitch, 98 outside black. Turns out it's a hit and run. I'm like, oh shit. I look over. They get Polanco in a rundown, right? Freaking, he's out. Now there's 1 out. No, 2 outs. No, 1 out in the like 12th. Jim Leland, who earlier was joking around, told me a joke in the dugout like 2 innings later. I'm like, you're so funny, Skip. Comes onto the field. He's like, what the F are you doing, Case? It's a hit and run. Like I'm 12 years old down in here, Upper St. Clair Municipal Park. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So, dude, I was literally was like, you got to lock it in. Like, you got to go deep. Well, I end up hitting a liner single. Carlos Guillen bomb to win it. Touch home plate. Leland's like, what are you doing? I go, dude, I can't believe you gave me the hit and run. We start arguing. He goes, screw it. We won the game. I go, God, good point.
And then you love him. You want to go to battle for that guy.
But there was a little bit edge there where I was like, okay, this guy, I'll do anything for this guy. And I just screwed up. I missed the hit and run that he put on. I got to figure out a way to get, whatever it is. So I just love that about Buck and the Mets.
I love it. I always think this in business and like when you're in managerial roles in anything, not just sports, it's you don't want people to be scared of you, but you want people to be afraid of disappointing you. You want them to say, I don't want to disappoint my boss. I think those are the best bosses because they're going to give
your dad.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to disappoint your dad.
No, very true. That's a great point. So, and by the way, shout out to Lindor, and we said Carrasco. Think about this, 4 games up right now. Every time they have a lead until DeGrom comes back is a victory. He's coming back. Don't forget, there's no DeGrom right now.
They need him to. They need 25 starts out of DeGrom.
Absolutely.
I mean, really, because you say you got that 2-3-headed monster. They got that pitching staff's legit. First off, the starting staff. So they're in good shape, man. The Mets have done a good job. Stevie Cohen, keep spending your money, brother. I know you're at like 300 mil or 280. Keep going.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of guy got paid recently. You are infatuated with Jose Ramirez right now.
Bro, I mean, you kidding me? Because they just, the Indians signed him to that big deal. I don't know if you can look that up, Chinch. I know it's over $100 million, which is huge for the Indians to even, put out that money. But that's what you got to do nowadays if you want, a superstar player. You got to pay him. But this guy puts up the numbers, man. What is he hitting right now? 436. He's got 4 bombs, 20 ribbies. Hit a grand slam on Wednesday. I mean, and he's a switch hitter. You can't. He's a matchup problem.
Right.
You can't bring in a lefty to he'll turn around righty and I think he's pretty even in his career splits lefty righty. So what an asset. Yeah.
How about this? So he's got 20 hits, 5 doubles, a triple because he can run, even though he doesn't look like it. 4 dingers, 20 ribbies, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts with all that damage. Switch hitting. Switch
hitter. And he's got, what is that, 1,300 OPS, something ridiculous like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's up there.
OPS, for anyone out there, is on-base percentage plus slugging.
13.
It's the one stat, I think, well, Brian Kenny probably knows better than I do, but the one stat that I look at is OPS plus, which really shows how they're doing.
The full capacity of everything. Hey, I'm just looking at these stats right now. There's 2 other guys we should give shout-outs to. One, Nolan Arenado. Talk about OPS. He's leading in OPS with 1.349. He's got 5 doubles, 5
I love to see that, too, because when he came over to St. Louis last year, I thought, Colorado effect. Maybe this guy's not as good as we thought. Although he had a decent year, not an Nolan Arenado number year.
Right.
Now you're starting to see that. It looks like he's playing with a little chip on his shoulder, too, which I love.
Yeah, I like that, too. He's hitting 405. Is that good?
Yeah.
And Ramirez is hitting 426. And I'm going to give you one more guy that we didn't talk about that probably might be the most impressive thing just because of the pressure that was put on this guy. Matt Olson. How about this, dude? He's got, where are we? He's got 20 hits, too. He's got a bunch of ribbies, 2 dingers. His OPS right now is 1.156. And coming in to replace
Freddie Freeman. The one thing I didn't love about the Matt Olson deal is what I heard was they took the overlay of Oakland.
Oh, like he was going to hit more homers?
Yeah, and they said he's going to hit 60 in Atlanta. That's just not true. I hate when people do that. That's just not, that doesn't happen.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So, like for me, Matt Olson is one of the best players in baseball. Like you just traded 2 of the best. But for me to get rid of Freddie Freeman, because you're projecting out that Olson's going to hit more home runs in the way Atlanta did it. I don't know. It left a sour taste in my mouth. I'm not even a Brave fan. I'm a Freddie Freeman fan and a Matt Olson fan. But I'm saying, as a player, when you watch how that went down, like I thought it was kind of. For what Freddie's meant to that organization, just brought him a World Series and an MVP, and he doesn't even know that they traded for Matt Olson until he sees it on MLB Network.
That's bad news.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that resonated with all the other players. You heard what Rizzo said about Judge, and he's like, look at the business. You just got rid of Freddie Freeman. And, well, as you were just telling that story, I would say if you put on your one hand who you would want up in, Game 7, bottom of the 9th World Series, down by a run with a runner on second, I'm putting Freddie Freeman on there. I'm not putting Matt Olson on there. No offense to Matt Olson, but
Freddie Freeman's a better hitter. I mean, better all around hitter. He's going to hit for. He's a guy could hit 330. He's going to hit a ton of doubles, ton of home runs. Like, listen, you just got rid of a very, very dangerous bat. And I know Olson's a little younger, but I think Freddie Freeman is a guy that ages really well because he knows the game, short swing, plays first base.
Plays it really well, right? He's great defensively.
Plays a Gold Glove first base. The Dodgers just, they fell into basically a gold mine right there. I think
they are loaded. All right, so something that's never really exciting, but was exciting this past week twice, is the walk. The first one, Friday night, Angels-Rangers. Angels are trailing 3-2 in a fourth inning. Joe Madden goes like this. Austin Warren intentionally walks Corey Seager with the bases loaded in a 4th. Your thoughts?
Yeah. He did that, and Buck did it before, too.
Buck did it, but that was Barry Bonds when he hit 70.
He walked Bonds. No. Buck did it with Bonds. Madden did it with Josh Hamilton.
Yes, that's right.
So he's done it twice. He did it Josh Hamilton and both with the Rangers.
It's so hard to say.
It ended up working out.
I know. But
I don't tell you the truth. I don't like it. I don't really like it. And Corey Seager, listen, I understand Barry Bonds because Barry Bonds is Barry Bonds. Like, if the bases were loaded and you had to picture Barry Bonds, he's going to make you absolutely pay. Right? So I get that. But, like, the Corey Seager is a great player. But, like, I don't know. I think the pitcher wasn't too happy either.
No.
But the Angels ended up winning the game.
They did.
So
you know what I equate that to, kind of?
Out.
I guess. But that to me is like, I used to love playing Texas Hold'em when that got like really popular, that game. And I stopped playing it because I used to get so frustrated with people like, I have 3 of a kind, I have a best hand. I feel like that kind of thing, when you walk a guy with the bases loaded, it's like, I have 2 spades. There's 2 spades on the table. I'm just going to sit and play this to hope to get the flush. And then when you get the flush, you think you're a winner, but you didn't play the game right. I'm not saying Joe Madden doesn't play the game right. He just sometimes some of those moves work out, and it's like, wow, this person's a genius. But you do that in a wrong time, and the next batter comes and like hits a grand slam. Now you look like a fool, but you got to give him credit. He's been doing it for years.
It's like playing when we went to the flight to Japan, and the back was like me, Veritek, Big Papi, Papelbon. It's like playing Texas Hold'em with Big Papi. He stays he's got $200,000 cash right next to him, and he's freaking playing. He's staying in on every hand. I'm like, Pop, like. Don't you see the poker face I got going on right now? This poker face right here is deadly. That's great. And you're staying in with a freaking 2 to 6. This is such BS. He's like, hey, in case you got to do it. I'm like, no, you have $200,000 in cash. Give me some of that money.
It's amazing. There you go. Perfect example. And then so another walk, and this is your boy. It was this Booney did this. Miguel Cabrera is 1 hit away from 3,000, and the Yankees intentionally walked him, and the fans went bananas.
Went nuts. Well, dude, those fans paid to see. They're there to see Mickey. 2,999. But hey, listen, it's the 8th inning. He hasn't gotten it yet. I think Booney makes the right call. It's a 1-0 game. He's got a lefty on the mound. Yeah. He intentionally walks Cabrera. Place goes nuts. They almost riot against Booney. And it didn't work out because Austin Meadows flares one to center, 2-run score. But I think 100 out of 100 managers probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah, probably. Wait, so were you still playing when Bonds was going for all the records? Were you?
Yeah.
So were you ever in San Fran when they were like doing the chickens and everything in the stands when you would walk? What was that like?
Yes, it was unbelievable. That whole thing was unbelievable, man. Like just watching Bonds. Dude, I was one of the stories I have with Bonds is I was 1-2 with Bonds in the batting race in September, like 2004. I couldn't catch him because he walked like 3 times a game. So like he was at 370, I was at 340, 345, and I remember him like got a lead one time. He turned, he was like, "You ain't catching me, pal." He didn't say pal. He didn't say pal. He said something else.
Really?
Yeah, dude. He turned to me. It was first and second. He walked, and I had 2 hits in the game. I was already 2 for 2. He turned to me like, "You ain't catching me."
That's so cool. You've never told that story.
I was like, at least Barry.
Did you get along with him? You got along with him, I'm sure.
Yeah. Barry was a good guy. Yeah. I mean, to me, he was.
Dude, that's a crazy story. I can't believe
crazy.
Yes.
I was playing behind him. They just walked him. I had 2 knocks, and I don't know if I said like, "Hey, how about you start swinging the bat, pal? Quit walking, and maybe we could have a batting race here."
That's great. That's so cool. That's so cool, man. You've had some life, dude.
Oh, dude, it is unbelievable. Dude, that's what I love about the podcast is that like you jar my memory of stories.
I know. We didn't. Seriously, we come on for this particular show. We like kind of just talking to each other when we haven't prepared too much. And look at all the stuff we just talked about today. We weren't planning on talking about 4 or 5 of these things. So it is fun to do. And speaking of which, you're talking about how much fun this is. Man, these shows we've had the last few weeks have just been amazing. And you got to explain to people if they haven't seen this past week's episode, what they're missing and why they should go see it.
Dude, Michael Desanti, the guy this week, man, what an awesome dude. Because, listen, Chinchy, how many times do we talk to all the people that are on our show? Hey, give us your mental side of the game. What do you think when you're up there, game on the line? What'd you think before you got to the big leagues? How did you deal with pressure, anxiety, all this different stuff? Well, this guy, Michael, I always think like now at this stage of our life, it's the mental game of life. It's not the mental game of baseball anymore. And Michael Desanti is, kind of a mentor of mine, great guy. I got divorced a few years ago and, just really, listen, if for anyone that's been divorced or anyone that's gone through tough times, like, there's sometimes you feel like you need people to lean on or you'd get a coach to say, "Hey, listen, I'm having some anxiety and stress that I've never had before. What could I do to help me out? Give me some tools." And Desanti was that guy in my life that really helped me out a ton. What an awesome guy. And, that's why having him on for me was just a cool week. But for all the people that listen, I've already had a bunch of friends call me and tell me, "Dude, this Desanti episode was so good. Just amazing to talk to him." And I tell you what, Chinch, I had a buddy of mine, my buddy John Dennis, called me last night and said, the best part of that interview was your questions.
Oh, really?
That's what he said. Because he said it related to Joe Blow, that, to anyone out there, all of us out there that are like, "Hey, man, like, I want to know, like, why are you just taking my money, or why would you help me?" And Desanti came back with 2 of the greatest answers.
Awesome answers. Yeah, you should listen
in such a genuine way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it wasn't, like it's more for me. Like, there's so much shitty stuff out there, man. And there's so many people that are trying to scam people. But I ask those type of questions because I want everybody to hear, like, no, this is a legitimate type thing. Like, because there's so many people out there that don't. And he was so cool. And first of all, he's jacked up, dude. He looks like he could have played baseball.
Dude, so
but,
he lives his program. I mean,
I could see that.
Got a great marriage. Yeah. His domains, you know what I mean? He's jacked. He eats clean. Just a good dude, man. High energy all the time. And
right. And if you haven't listened to it yet, you can see it's so cool how you can get inside how Sean played baseball mentally. And like you said, you know, things go wrong in your life. When you're playing baseball, I can't hit the inside pitch. So what do? You're going down, and I'm going to go to the cages, and I'm going to put a tee inside, and I'm going to do tee drills. It seems like the same kind of stuff translates. Like, what's going on in my life? Why am I struggling with things? Well, let me talk to my coach and see, you know, what kind of little things we can do. You do stuff every morning. I see your beautiful posts when you're 5:30 in the morning. You got the fire going, like, and you set yourself up for the day. It's like that's almost like your BP for the day, right? That's awesome. That's kind of what we talked about in there. So it's cool.
Awesome, dude. It's your process of, like, you know, as big leaguers, we always say process, not results. Process, not results. You know, that's the one thing we talk about. You know, like, how do I get good at living in the moment, right? One pitch at a time. I got one pitch today, like next pitch, because you can't worry about the punch out before or your the past 3 or 4 games where you struggled 2 weeks, whatever. It doesn't matter. Only thing that's relevant now is the present moment, and so I think, like, that's such a big part of, like, life and baseball, where they you know they mirror each other. You know, baseball is a game of adjustments. And so is life. In the process of baseball, failure is built in. Well, guess what? In the process of life, things that you don't want to happen or you consider good or bad, they're built in too. But the bottom line is, how do you respond when things don't go as you thought they should? Right. That's all that matters. So it's just cool when you start talking like that, kind of connecting the pieces, and you get your mind to stop processing, oh man, what happened in the past, and that's all you think about. No, dude, what's happening right now? And suffering ends when gratitude begins. Like, man, even though things aren't going right, you're getting divorces and that, there still are amazing things going on in your life. You just don't see it.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, you just got to open your eyes to it. That's great. And so now, I'm not saying the polar opposite, but the guest we have coming on this week, he is not your life coach. No, but holy crap. I'm just going to say this. The first half hour when this man, first of all, was in Sean Casey's home, I just listened to him talking, and I was on the ground laughing, and I'm like, I cannot believe this. What do we got?
Bro, Steve Blass is coming in the mayor's office next week, and this guy to me is a legend. You know, he's a legend in Pittsburgh. You know, he's been part of the Pirate organization for 60 years. Game 7 winning pitcher, 71 World Series, almost won the Cy Young in 72. You know, but bro, in this episode, he starts talking Hank Aaron. He gave the eulogy at Clementi's funeral, one of Clementi's best friends. Talks about facing Willie Mays, struck out Pete Rose 3 times, had a funny conversation with Rose with that. I mean, this guy, I told Chinch, I'm like, this guy's a walking history book of baseball. Like, I'm so glad that we got this in an hour and 40-minute interview, because I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, people need to hear these stories, and he's the funniest freaking dude in the world.
One of the funniest people I've ever heard, but his stories, don't forget, like, Martin Luther King's the day he was assassinated, talking about how the black players and the Latino players and the white players all on those Pirates teams, how all of that kind of stuff, we're looking at stuff now. He was talking about, it was basically very similar to stuff that's gone on in these past 2 or 3 years, and you think this is the 60s. Talk about the type of men that were together growing. Right. There is so much. His relationship with Hank Aaron, there's so much.
Yes. What about when he talks about Willie Stargell and him and Stargell coming up in the minor leagues in the South?
Yes.
That they had to ride different buses. I mean, dude, the stories.
Right. How hard it was for them to eat a meal together because they were in different parts of town. Like, oh my God, what a brilliant man.
Stargell had to get the black bus. I mean, Blast had to get the white bus, and they would meet at the diner. Crazy stuff. Right. But this is a guy that lived it, and dude, I'm so grateful for all of our listeners out there. Do not miss this week with Desanti, but do not miss Steve Blass next week. It's so funny. Every week,
like, this was the best one.
Best one ever. We're like 70 episodes in. Best one ever, bro. Best one ever.
No, but that's what it is, man. Rolling the ball down the hill. Rolling
Love
the ball
dude.
down the hill,
Love
man.
it. Think of the momentum. Roll the snowball down the hill. And the
Exactly.
listeners and the subscribers, all you guys out there, do us a favor, man. Share, if you could share us and retweet stuff or share us with your friends and your family, and we could just keep getting the subscribers up and keep getting the listeners up, the downloads. We're moving it slowly but surely, Chinch.
Yeah, that reminds me. Actually, I forgot.
Slowly sets the pace.
Yes. Wait, one last thing before we go. I said to fans on Twitter, if you have a question for Sean Casey today, I'm going to ask it. Right?
Yeah. What was the question?
Okay. The question. I just said, what are the questions? We got one response, which tells you how socially popular I am out there. Let's see. Where's the question? Oh, we got two.
Sure.
We got two.
All right. Good.
Oh, Holly. Holly's one of our biggest fans. Holly,
Okay,
shout out
thanks,
to you.
Holly.
Holly says, "What was your favorite stadium or stadiums to play in as a player?"
Oh, well, my favorite stadiums, it's funny, it's going to sound cliche, but listen, playing at Wrigley when I was with the Reds, played there so much they were in our division. There's nothing like day games at Wrigley, you know what I mean? And just the fans, it's a huge party, it's packed. Then you go to Gibson's for a nice steak afterwards, and then you do it again the next day. But Wrigley's unbelievable. Fenway was unbelievable, but I'm so grateful I got to play in Boston as a player. I mean, as a home player. You come there as a visitor. I'll tell you what, as a visiting player, it's intimidating. You're like, this is. Fans are right on you. They're rabid fans. They love the Red Sox. It's a little intimidating. You come there as a home player, you're like, and you're on a team like the 2008 Red Sox that are boat racing people every night. You're like, this is the greatest. I'm a freaking rock star. So Fenway Park was awesome. Nice. Playing in front of the monster. That was cool. And dude, PNC Park in Pittsburgh
it's beautiful.
Is gorgeous. It's a great place to play. It's a great place to play as a home or visitor. And it's so cool with the background of Pittsburgh. The city of Pittsburgh's beautiful. They got the river right there and all that stuff. And also, San Fran's unbelievable too. It's gorgeous. San Fran's a great park. Gorgeous park.
Smells like
with
weed.
The bay right there.
Well, it smells a lot like weed. But
it smells a lot like weed, and it's freezing cold in July. Other than that,
but it's beautiful. Oh, all right. One other one.
Manny Ramirez will run out on the check with you in San Fran too.
That's great. Yeah, and there's a certain pitcher that'll make you pay for the flight.
Yeah.
All right, one other one. This is from our boy Tom Oglesby. Oglesby, wasn't that in Bad News Bears?
Oglesby, no. Oglesby's,
oh, you know this guy?
Oglesby's a buddy of mine from here in Pittsburgh.
See, okay.
What he said? What Oglesby said?
This is a good one.
You might need to not say it.
It seems simple, but this might be bad. What is your favorite Utz chip flavor? Is that an inside joke?
Well, inside joke, dude. Me and my buddy Tim McGarvey used to call each other Utes. Whatever. Remember
the two Utes.
The two Utes.
My cousin Vinny.
Two Utes. Yeah, my cousin Vinny. But we used to joke around about how this whole thing about Hugo Utes and where is he? It was just a funny thing we did. So then we used to say he owns the Utes potato chips. Utes potato chips. Yeah. So inside joke. Oglesby, what's up, brother?
Well, what is your favorite? I'm a sour cream and onion guy, or barbecue sometimes. What's your favorite?
I'm a straight, like, my mom used to buy, we come home from church, come home on Mass on Sundays. My mom would make these, like, ham and turkey sandwiches with, like, a side of Cape Cod chips.
Yeah. Oh, those
and
are
she used to be like, that was, like, the first kettle cooked chips.
Yes.
And my mom would be like, Shawnee, you got to have Cape Cod chips. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. So Cape Cod chips will always be my chip.
All right, there we go. See, we've run the entire gamut this week. Started with an award show, and we end with the big-time conversations that made us the victors in that award show.
Yeah, man, that was awesome. Awesome, dude. The Cynopsis Awards, thanks for all them. And Chinchy, thanks for you, bro. I appreciate all you do, man.
Love you,
appreciate the friendship, but I appreciate all you do for this show, man. Really cool.
Same here, man. I love it, man.
All right.
Couldn't be happier. See you
all
next
right, guys.
week.
We'll see you guys next week. Chinch, love you, bro. I'll see you next week. Steve Blast, Michael Desanti. Let's go.
Let's go.
get it. See you guys.